I made an Instagram story to ask that which questions or what questions you would like to ask from me, and we received a lot of questions. So thank you for everyone for your questions, and I'll try to answer them the best way as I can. Yeah, the very first cash game that I played as a game was Limit Omaha. I played very low stakes as everyone who starts to play, so it was $1, $2 or something similar to that. And the next game that I learned as a cash game was Limit Hold'em. So for me, No Limit Hold'em became later as a cash game. I kept No Limit Hold'em as a tournament game for the first few years, and I was focusing on Limit Omaha mostly on those days. Well, for me personally, it's been easy to balance life as a family man and traveling Poker Pro. Best way I see it is that when you are with your family, you spend quality time then, and once you're playing around the world and traveling, you're just giving it all for poker. So I see it as it's not the time that you have for everything. It's more like the quality of the time that matters. If you're tired getting bad beats, it's more of the issue here is that you're paying too much attention for the bad beats instead of just focusing on poker. I mean, bad beats are part of playing poker, and if you're not willing to accept that, even we all know that you can have bad luck for a really long time in a row, so then maybe poker is not the right game for you. Do I believe that a young lawyer will be able to learn poker and become a professional poker player? Absolutely yes. I believe that anyone can become a professional poker player as long as you put time and dedication to what you do, so you commit yourself, and you will see quite soon that how much you have interest to the game, the love of the game and your talent. It doesn't take a very long period of time to find out that do you really have what it takes to play poker for a living. So anyone, no matter what you do, we don't need really physical abilities to play poker. All you have is just your brain. Use it, learn the game, start making right decisions, and but it's always like you have to put the work in anything you do to become successful. So. Well, if you have the bankroll to play Triton events and you don't have the confidence or the skill to play on this level, first of all, you don't have to have the skill and the confidence to play. You can still come and have an experience to play, even like one tournament to try it out. But if you have to go in a long way, maybe you should just play smaller events like 1,000 buy-in or 5,000 buy-in, some just smaller events to get a better feel with tournament poker, how it feels. And then the next level is when you feel like you're ready, come to play Triton. Well, bankroll management is everything as a cash game player and as a tournament player also. And there's a lot of calculations that goes to bankroll management. And one thing is obviously your skill set, that how big of an edge you have in your games. So it's very complicated to calculate that, okay, I needed this amount of bankroll to play this game, this particular game, because nobody can really tell how much of an advantage you have in the game. And also, if you lose in certain game and you lose like a decent chunk of your bankroll, it doesn't mean that you're gonna continue playing this high of a game. You can go to play a lower game and grind it back if that's where you used to make a living or winnings, and then you can take another shot. So there's many ways to analyze your bankroll and use it. I always had a really good bankroll management. I started from the lowest level. I never really skipped a level, and I went higher, higher, higher. And it happened pretty fast because my win rate was very high. But the first step is when you first time play a larger game that you're not used to. It's kind of taking a shot. It's an experiment, okay? And then I pretty much lost almost every time when I played a bigger game that I was used to play in the beginning. First time I lost, okay, I went back to play smaller where I was winning, I won it back. The second time I tried to play bigger, then I usually started to win, and then I started to play on that level and so on. But it's really like you need to know what kind of advantage you have in the game. It's not like that you need you need to have like 100 buy-ins in one game to be able to play the game. There's many ways to analyze that, and I cannot help you in this way. Only you will know you will know that which game is really worth of risking a larger portion of your bankroll and which is like a game that is high variance, that you don't have a very big advantage, where you really need to like take a smaller risk regarding your bankroll. So it's very individual thing, and we all use different bankroll management. Know your skill set and just don't risk it in the way that you cannot build it easily back. Whatever you're gonna lose in a larger game, you need to be able to grind it back quite easily from the games you used to win. That's the best advice as I can give. My biggest win, one individual cash game win, was in Macau. I think year was 2011 probably, or maybe 2010. Was one of the first sessions that I ever played there, and I think I played, if I remember correctly, was around 30-hour session, and I won more than 32 million Hong Kong dollars, which was more than $4 million at the time. So so far that's my largest win in one session. Yes, of course I do meetup games. I've been organizing meetup games with First Line of Poker, with Flop, my company. So we've been doing all kind of fun meetup games in different casinos, and just follow us on First Line of Poker, and we will update when we have the next meetup game there. I have to say that I enjoy pretty equally playing tournaments and cash games nowadays. It's also like different kind of games completely, and I feel like I can fulfill my competitive nature playing tournaments better, because tournaments is more like a sport part of poker, and cash games is more like a daily thing. I play much more cash games than tournaments. I've always done it, so I'm also more used to it. It's a routine thing, and tournaments are a little bit more exciting for me, especially these high roller events. Currently I'm playing all the Triton Super High Roller series, they have 4 of them a year, which is 2 weeks at a time. So that's pretty much all the tournaments, and there's some few ones, random ones always there and there, but other time of the year I'm playing cash games. Well, I have a history like most of the players, that I've been selling back in the days a piece whenever the buy-ins have been so high that I did not want to risk all for myself. So yes, I've been selling, and regarding my current buy-ins, it kind of varies. So I will just keep it to myself, because it really depends on which tournaments I'm playing and how much do I really have for myself. But if I'm going to play a $1 million buy-in tournament, for sure I'm not gonna play it 100% for myself. I think that staked players definitely don't need to disclose any of their own business arrangements with anyone. As long as there's no situation where, for example, one investor is taking a large amount of players in the same field. So if there's a chance that they would somehow collude, this would be a bad thing. But otherwise, it's just your business that you do what you want. So anyone is pretty much welcome to come to play. You don't need to be telling anyone what's your deal with anyone, and that's completely normal. Yes, I have caught someone cheating, but it was actually in the Chinese poker game, which is just played between friends in the kind of bad environment, and one player did something unethical. So yes, I have caught, but I have not caught anyone cheating in the proper licensed poker room in my life. I've been around with high stakes poker for so long, playing really high games, so I've lost more than I can remember and count, more than $1 million in one session, and same comes to winnings also. So if I can remember right, I lost one day more than $2 million online in one session to Isildur, and I did win day before or 2 days before $3 million against him. So those were very big swings. As far as I remember, yes, $2 million is the biggest loss, and I have few wins larger than that, like one $3 million and one $4 million. And lots of wins and losses over $1 million, just in live cash games pretty much, and some online also. Honestly, I have to say that it's pretty much 50-50. Without big money, I wouldn't have the same kind of motivation and passion to go and play. But I really love what I do, so let's just say the largest games and tournaments would be smaller, I would still have the same passion. It goes both ways. The money needs to be something really meaningful and something you work hard and something that really puts enough pressure on you that it's really you play something that you feel that is really important. That is the kind of a unique thing that gets your adrenaline going, gets your survival instincts, you get tuned with your body when you play. Like, it needs to be, for me, something that is really meaningful, and that's what brings the best out of me. Like, I've always done the best in the largest, biggest games where the pressure is the highest. I wouldn't say that I have a coach for poker, but I have few people that I like to analyze some hands in different situations, and it's always important that you improve your game, and nowadays we have such a different ways to learn, so many tools, so like everyone else on the high level, I'm working on my game. But yeah, I do work with some people once in a while. Well, I had few moments in early of my poker career when I lost a large sum of my bankroll. Like, let's just say, I don't know, 30% of it went pretty fast or so on, even half. And you kind of had to do a little bit analyzing of yourself, that how you're playing and so on. And it was more like a little bit kind of self-doubting sometimes, but not really like nothing else. Like, usually I went right back and started to win. So it is mentally tough to be a poker player when you are the only one who's really playing and knows how everything happens, how you win, how you lose. I have never really had a moment where I've been doubting to continue or not to play poker. I've never even considered of giving up playing poker. For me, usually the right moment to leave is just when I feel like leaving. I'm always listening what my body is telling me, and some days I really don't feel so great. I don't feel comfortable. There's weird thing how you feel that your energy is just down. That's when you just have to toughen up and even just call it a day. Even if you're in a very good game, it's usually better to quit. And every situation is different, and it's also a very important skill that you know when to walk away from the game when it's just not your day. It's a little bit complicated question to answer, because there's always comes players, they come and go, and you play with some players for a certain period of time, few years or longer, and then they don't play the same game as you play and you start playing some other games and so on. But I think I played so much against Phil Ivey in my life, like those years between 2005 to 2012, for example, and he was clearly the toughest opponent for me those days. So yeah, he was the toughest one that I have faced those years. But there's been a lot of tough players. Like, we also have different matchups. Like, some players might be just more difficult for you to play against for some reason. But yeah, it's overall I've been not really having like issues that, okay, like, these players are giving me too much hard time. That is, I don't like to play in these games. And I have to say that Phil Ivey has really made a good impact on myself, that I'm a much better player nowadays because of the battles that I've had with him back in the day. So he made me a better player. He also showed some very good work ethic and always brought his A game and focus. So I took a lot from him, and it's been a good, nice experience.